Okay, so as part of your rivers topic, you need to know a good river flood prevention scheme. And the one that we like to look at is the Nottingham left bank flood scheme. So I'm going to show you what we're looking at in general today. So we have the Nottingham left bank flood scheme. Okay, and it's had various stages throughout its lifetime. I generally say it started around somewhere around 2012, but actually Nottingham's undergone multiple series of flood protection. But if you want to put a date to it, you can put it then, but actually it's not that necessary to really put a date to it. What's more important are things like the cost. So overall, the cost of the Nottingham flood protection along the central area of the city has been approximately £45 million, but you can go into your exam, for example, and saying that. The whole scheme protects about 16,000 homes across Nottingham, and okay, I'll put across Nottingham, and we're looking at areas like the Meadows, Colic, and Sneinton, West Bridgeford. So all of these places and those homes are really, really well protected by the flood scheme. Overall, if we're to be evaluative, and remember it's important to be evaluative, it has been very successful. Okay, and there's been no major flood since 2001. Okay, and I remember the flood from 2001. In fact, my parents' basement got flooded in 2001. So there you go. So no major flood since 2001. Now let's have a quick look at what's been completed as part of the flood protection scheme over this time. Well, we've had a key thing, of course, is the embankment, which runs right the way along the River Trent, and we had 2.5 kilometres. Okay, so there's a huge period of embankment, and it looks like this. If you've never been down, I really recommend you go down there because it's absolutely mad. Huge concrete steps, and this is the river channel like this, and then huge concrete steps on the other side, and this channels that water out really, really quickly. Okay, if you just imagine someone sitting on the side there, and that allows that huge volume of water to escape. Okay, so these have been strengthened as well, but very, very good. In Beeston, we've also had some other, what else have we had in Beeston? Let's just have a quick look as well. So in Beeston, 700 metres of flood wall to protect those houses in Beeston as well, right? Huge, huge amounts of very good quality housing in Beeston that need protecting, but overall about 16,000 that have been important to protect. Just one other thing as well that I think is quite interesting is at Colic is where we've had river straightening. Okay, river straightening. Okay, and wherever this happens, what you're effectively doing is creating a really straight river, and that water can just flow out really quickly. The whole point in things like the embankment and the river straightening is to get water out of the basin or out of the river as quickly as possible. Okay, that's the kind of whole idea of what we're trying to achieve there. So overall, now this is quite interesting. Overall, has it been a success? Yes. However, one thing that I think is quite important is that it relies heavily on hard engineering, which of course is expensive, but nonetheless it's very effective. Okay, and I think that's important. There are some soft engineering approaches that have been taken. For example, there is some flooding at Attenborough Nature Reserve. So at Attenborough Nature Reserve, they can flood the whole area, okay, if it is necessary, or it floods basically, and that keeps some of that water, and that means that the homes further down the river are protected because of that. However, I think one thing that's important to go in with is understanding that we need a bit of balance. ultimately it is very successful. However, it relies on hard engineering. Okay, so let's just quickly have a look. How would I go about evaluating that as an answer? Well, let's just get a little kind of quick thing going on here. So my introduction, as per usual, very simple introduction where we talk about, well, the scheme, left bank, okay, left bank, and our sentence there, very quick, just saying, yep, successful. Overall, it has been a massive success. Okay, just to try and break it down as quickly as possible. Now, my key things that I want to say here, right, in our next paragraph is our explanation. What are the successful attempts that have been done? So whether it's the embankment, Beeston, the river straightening at Colic, overall it's been pretty successful. Now, if just to add a bit of balance, I think it is worth talking about the reliance on hard engineering. Okay, so reliance on hard engineering. Now, just remember as well, this is likely to be a 6 marker, and we don't really need a conclusion in 6 markers. You can add one, but I don't think it's that important. If what you're really getting at is a really clear, okay, absolute clarity, yes, no, this is a good idea, and a good level of explanation. I would say you need 2 times paragraphs, okay? And if you want to hit these higher marks, you need to be talking about the embankment. You need to be talking about the flood wall at Beeston, the river straightening. And you need to have some kind of criticality as well. Have I been critical? Okay? Super important. All right, I'll just take a zoom out, just make sure that guys can see all of that. But it's a really successful scheme. Like I definitely think it's important to realize that. And sometimes things are pretty successful, and this is a good example of that. All right, great to be back, and really, really good luck in your mock exam on Wednesday. All right, take care, guys.